The day had finally arrived. I stood in the elegantly decorated hall, the soft glow of chandeliers reflecting off polished wood, casting a warm light over the excited chatter of our guests. It was the annual charity auction, a beloved tradition in our community, and this year I had taken the reins in organizing the event. Beneath the surface, however, my motivations were far from noble. After discovering Emily's affair a few months earlier, I had been consumed by a whirlwind of emotions: anger, betrayal, and a desperate need for validation. Instead of wallowing in my misery, I decided to channel my pain into something more profound. I would use the charity auction to expose her infidelity. I would incorporate items that held deep meaning, items that symbolized her betrayal, and I would force her to confront the consequences of her actions in front of our friends and family. As guests arrived, I greeted them with a warm smile, masking the turmoil roiling beneath. I had arranged for each attendee to donate a personal item, along with a story that connected them to it. The idea was to create an atmosphere of vulnerability and generosity, but I had a hidden agenda. In the days leading up to the auction, I had carefully selected items that represented the painful moments of Emily's betrayal. A pair of elegant earrings that she had worn on our last anniversary, a framed photo from a vacation where she had claimed she was working late, and a heartfelt letter that I had written to her, expressing my love and commitment. Each piece was a painful reminder of the trust that had been shattered. As the auction commenced, I watched as our friends bid on the various items, sharing laughter and stories that fostered a sense of connection. The first few items sold quickly, their sentimental value bringing a wave of nostalgia that warmed the room. But I knew the real impact would come when my carefully chosen items came up for auction. When it was finally time to present my first item, I stepped to the podium, my heart racing. "Thank you all for being here tonight to support a worthy cause," I began, my voice steady despite the turmoil within. "This next item is particularly special to me. It's a pair of beautiful earrings, donated by Emily, my wife." A murmur rippled through the crowd as they recognized her name. I held the earrings up, allowing the soft light to catch their shimmer. These earrings were a gift from me to her on our last anniversary, a symbol of our love and commitment. I paused, letting the weight of my words sink in. But sometimes even the most beautiful gifts can carry a painful story. The room fell silent as I continued, recounting the moment I had given them to her. I spoke of the joy I had felt, how I believed in our marriage, and how deeply I had loved her. "But this gift now carries a different meaning," I said, my voice steady but filled with emotion. "It's a reminder of broken trust and betrayal." The guests shifted uncomfortably in their seats, and I could see Emily's face pale as realization began to dawn. I watched as friends whispered among themselves, connecting the dots of my story. The bidding commenced, and after a few moments, the earrings sold for a surprising amount. I felt a surge of satisfaction as I watched the money exchanged, knowing that it would go to a good cause. But more importantly, I was forcing Emily to confront the truth of her actions. Next came the framed photo, depicting a moment from our vacation, a time we had both cherished. I shared the story behind it, describing the laughter and joy we had felt. But then I revealed the truth: Emily had taken the photo with her lover, while I had been obliviously planning a surprise. While I thought she was enjoying our time together, she was busy creating memories with someone else, I said, my voice rising. This picture now stands as a reminder that not all smiles are genuine. The room was thick with tension as I saw friends processing what I was saying, their expressions shifting from sympathy to discomfort. The bids came in, and I felt a sense of triumph. As the photo sold for a significant amount, the laughter and joy it once represented now overshadowed by the painful truth. Finally, I unveiled the heartfelt letter I had written to Emily. I read excerpts aloud, sharing my deepest feelings and promises of love. "This letter was a testament to my commitment," I said, my voice steady. "But now it's just a reminder of how easily those words can be broken." The guests sat in stunned silence, the weight of the moment palpable. Emily's eyes glistened with tears, and I could see the anguish etched across her face as the truth began to settle over her like a dark cloud. As the bidding began for the letter, I turned my gaze toward Emily, locking eyes with her. "I hope this letter finds a new home where it will be valued and cherished," I said, my voice filled with purpose. "Because the trust we built together has been shattered." As the auction came to a close, I felt a mix of satisfaction and relief wash over me. I had exposed the truth in a way that left no room for denial, and I had forced Emily to confront the consequences of her actions. When the last item sold, The guests began to applaud, their applause mingling with the heavy atmosphere of realization. I watched as Emily stood there, tears streaming down her cheeks. The facade had crumbled, and there was nowhere for her to hide. "I never wanted it to end like this, Michael," she cried, her voice breaking. "You've humiliated me." "Humiliation is the least you deserve after what you've done," I replied, my heart racing. "You chose to betray me, and now you have to face the reality of your actions." As our friends surrounded us, offering support to both of us, I could see the gravity of the situation hitting home. Emily had been exposed in a way she never expected, and there was no escaping the truth anymore. "Michael, please," she pleaded, desperation lacing her words. "I made a mistake. I didn't mean for it to happen." "You had every opportunity to come clean," I said firmly, "but instead you chose to deceive me." The atmosphere in the room shifted, friends glancing at each other, unsure of how to respond. Some stepped forward to comfort Emily, while others looked at her with disappointment. In that moment, I felt a sense of clarity wash over me. I had confronted my pain and taken a stand for myself. I had used the charity auction as a powerful platform to expose the truth and reclaim my narrative. As the guests began to disperse, the reality of our situation loomed large. Emily tried to reach out, but I held my ground, knowing that this was the beginning of my journey toward healing. The days that followed were filled with turmoil, but I felt empowered to face the future. I had chosen to confront the truth, and while the path ahead would be challenging, I was ready to embrace it with open arms. Ultimately, the charity auction became a pivotal moment in my life. It forced Emily to confront her actions, and for me, it symbolized the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with honesty, strength, and the promise of a brighter future.